Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Looks like all of you can hear me. Why can't I hear me? Welcome in. Happy to see everyone back. Happy to be back streaming after all of this craziness. Computers dying on me. Spending forever waiting on stuff to come. Yeah. Let's see here. Interesting. That's supposed to be playing to me. Me no understandy. I don't understand why I didn't play the alert sound for your resub. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for resubscribing. Hello there, JK. Welcome in, Will Poker. Ooh. Thank you, JK. Let's do some coffee. I bought a new thingy, but it's not supposed to get here until Saturday. I also got gifted one of these. So I have an AeroPress now, too. But, I don't love pressing down on a mug that I care about. Like, I'm sure I'm going to use this. I just don't think I'm going to be using this as my everyday thing. They're somewhere between a French press, a espresso, and a drip. They're sort of... There's parts of all of it there. Rinse up my filter, which you don't have to do with the AeroPress. There will people that will sit there and argue that, oh yeah, it's an espresso in your pocket. No. I'm not even an espresso junkie. It's not espresso, sorry. Actually, that might actually be my on-the-go option. Let's make sure we're up to temp here. It's sort of weird. It's like it lies to me. It has this maintain the temperature setting that I like using, obviously, so that it can be warm before stream starts. But it like lies to you that it's actually staying closer in temperature than it is, because I just sat there, I just exited the hold temperature thing and entered to just bring it up to full temp for me. And it immediately dropped like 3 or 4 degrees from me exiting the maintain temperature. Like... I mean, I sort of understand that I bought this kettle in an era where products don't have a long lifetime. Everything's got manufactured lifetime, and it's all cheaply sort of half done. I just feel irked by it, like, sort of lying to me. Like, it's not incredibly off. For those that are going nuts wondering what I am planning on doing tonight because the dinner command didn't quite figure out what I was cooking with tonight. At least it didn't guess and say something completely wrong. That's an improvement. We're working with kimchi tonight. I'm going to be making 2 dishes. First one being a beef, mushroom, kimchi, and egg soup. So no tofu, add mushrooms, add egg. For you Koreans out there, we're going to go to all that good stuff. So, and then for dessert, going to be doing sweet mini egg rolls, mini wontons, with a sweetened cream cheese, kimchi, wonton wrapper, and then a apricot jalapeno dipping sauce. So that is my dinner plans for this evening. I got what I remember is about $20, or what I remember as is about $10 of beef for $20. Got a couple of different types of mushrooms for in this. Hello, Nan Reader. Nice. Thank you all for joining me this lovely evening. I appreciate your company. Cheers. Alright, what are we getting started with here? As far as... I think we're going to do the soup first. Because the wontons we can do after the soup is just cooking. And I'm going to do the beef last thing. We'll finish the soup at the end. But I think we're going to do the majority of the soup here to start. And so I am going to start with an onion and some garlic. Wow, this is an onion. One heck of an onion. So we'll slice up some onion here. Or rather half slices, or I don't know what to properly call these. Essentially, I've cut the onion in quarters and then sliced it so that you get half of an onion. Well, like I said. Maybe I can clear this up a little bit for the AI. I've sliced this onion vertically in half and then horizontally in half, and then sliced it into slices vertically. Resulting in roughly 2-inch slices of onion. And because that was a ginormous onion, it really was 2 inches plus for half of it. $30. I was impressed earlier with Soph's 20. $30. Breaking cloves away from a head of garlic. We're just gonna Goodfellas the onion garlic here tonight. Yeah. Paper thin, just melts. As I roll my eyes. On the other hand, with everything else we're throwing in there, we're not going to notice it. We warm over here yet? And as always, onions or veggies in the pan goes with some salt. Thank you for that resub, Muscat. Greatly appreciate that. Nice seeing everyone back after having to take a hiatus. The computers work so smooth now. They're so buttery smooth. Oh, also new with all of this and all of these changes. Not on this system, though that may be coming in the near future. Fresh install system format everything on the main system in the back. New up here is 15K bitrate. At least to YouTube. I don't know what Twitch is giving you, but I'm sending it to Twitch whether they want it or not. And that's what I googled as optimal bitrate for a 1440p quality stream. Add our garlic in there with our onions now. Now that the onions have gotten a little bit of a head start and starting to, I wouldn't say brown, but they're starting to dry and get a little color. Now that things are working and going, I can see what's going on with that other CPU. And if the other CPU is actually usable, salvageable, workable, it might be replacing this one. I mean, it's close to the processor that's in here already, but it's a slight upgrade to it. If it's working, if it's nice, if it's going to be happy. Which, it gave me so many headaches over there, I don't know. But we're gonna try. Being a little risky in the computer in the back, I removed the hard drive when I took everything and stripped it all out. And I haven't added a, I have a small half gig M.2 SSD on the thing that's basically was intended to just basically handle Windows. And I had a 4 terabyte hard drive in there that was doing a lot of temporary recording stuff until they go into the main storage. And I've removed that 4 terabyte drive to the main storage, at least temporarily, and we're seeing how the network handles all of that, which we're streaming. So my main recording in the back is technically still recording to the same place on the same hard drive, but the hard drive has changed locations. And absolutely, I was worried about getting Windows recertified. Like, I even did some hacky things that, like, skipping network install and all of that because, yeah. And no problems whatsoever. Like, as soon as, well, I logged in, I have a Microsoft account, so I'm not one of the people skipping out on not having a Microsoft account, my Windows 11, but as soon as I logged, it did no problem whatsoever. It didn't even care. Except it is the exact same PC. Let's see what we got for beef bouillon over here. Ooh, ad break. I'm adding beef bouillon. We're going to use the caramelized onions trick here. And I don't really want to get a ton of water in here just yet. But I'm going to add some for steaming action and to allow the onions to continue cooking. We got kimchi. Smelling a light funk on that, which I like. I'm not big into the heavy funky, and that's gonna help us out tonight too. I guess we're not quite back from ads. I should have waited till ads. We're done. Yeah. I am not a kimchi connoisseur, so please let me know people's thoughts. This is just what I picked up for this. I'll give you one guess where I got it. We're going to go ahead and add our kimchi now, though. And I'm trying to equal out at least as much of the onion and kimchi there. And we want some draining for our dessert tonight. Not the finest maitakes I've ever seen. I'm using them up. They're not bad. They're okay, but they're not great. Hi, Mimic. I didn't add any salt when I added the kimchi. I made the assumption that the kimchi would have been salted, at least to a certain degree. And at least for cooking purposes, wouldn't be necessary. Maybe after we try things later on and it's dull and bland, and then we'll add some salt. But now we'll add some salt with the onions, or with the mushrooms that are going in. Oh, dad joke. So I'm excited for Friday's stream, if anyone's still out there listening. Friday's stream is offending everyone. I'm not going to tell anyone what we're really making all the way through. Like, I'll say what I'm doing, but I'm not going to... And by then, you get to figure out... Is that something you would actually try? Or do you just feel sorry for essentially every cuisine in the world? Let me know what you think. I will say it involves... Let's see, what will I say it involves? No, you're just going to have to check it out on your own and figure out what the heck I'm making. Once we get this down to the point where it starts sticking again here, where we've cooked down the mushrooms until they've gotten thirsty, then we'll add some water. And we'll let it cook and we'll start working on dessert. How many people in chat are fans of that fruity fermented flavor? I mean, we got fans out there that are fans of like the durian flavor, or but that's the one that I think of when I think of that fermented fruity flavor is durian. It's right there. It's the same type flavor that you'll get, that same sort of like scent and everything that you'll get from things like I've had apple ciders that were fermented with funky ferments purposely along that line. I've had coffees that were along that line. I've had it's that almost the other way I can describe it is the way most people describe durian. It's that sort of almost like banana-y, fruity flavor that you get from ferments. I think of durian also as sort of like banana custard. That just smells funky. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with natto. I want to say a natto, like the coloring / sort of spice. But I mean, the stringy, like odd texture beans. I think I've had it. But at the same time, I don't remember the smell of it. I mostly think of it as being a texture thing. Sort of disgusting to the sight, but people absolutely love it. Like you say, you eat it at home. Like the reason I say that people, I also hear stories or read stories of, oh, they brought it to work. Alright, we're getting there with this. I am now going to add water to our stew. That was 2 cups of water. I think we're going to do another 1/3 cup. thick slices, big pieces of ginger that I'm going to drop into this, intended to flavor, but easy to be pulled back out. Yeah, durian is pretty stinky. It's along the lines of walking around with their dirty diaper. It's... And I also think it's the type of smell where someone who's sensitive to scents, like, could absolutely be retching to. And this looks like a spicy stew, but I haven't even added a pepper to this thing. Like, that looks, almost chili color. It's cooking entirely way too hot, though. We need to turn that down a bit. I'm happy with that. That's tasty. That'll go lovely with some beef. Happy with that. I think that's where we're going to sit with that. On to dessert. Pickled jalapenos. Though I will say this is one of the sweeter types of pickled jalapenos that I have bought. Apricot jam. honey, regular sugar, minced jalapenos going in with the everything else there, with apricot, sugar, and honey. And I'm just mixing this up here with a spoon. I guess we'll switch to a whisk to see how much liquid we want to add to this to make it into a dipping sauce beyond just jelly. Salt. Needs more of a kick. Cayenne. Lemon juice. Maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice. Not even a half teaspoon of cayenne. But just something like, you could taste the jalapeno, but there's no real heat. It's at least gonna build a little bit now, but it's still not very hot, but eh. make sure and dry out some of that for our dessert here. And then we're going to chop it really fine for the dessert too. It's a little large for what I want, but it'll work. I thought these were a pull apart one. I guess I gotta cut them loose. I had to cut my wontons free not to contaminate them with a whole bunch of cream cheese. I'm just working my way of trying to not cut all of these, trying to get them open. There we go. And we don't need all of these tonight. So okay, note to self, need to make wonton dinner in the future. Use these up. We're using that later. Let's give this a stir, see what we got going here, other than looking gorgeous. Twitch. Oh, Twitch. I should take a... Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. I guess I can just show all of you. Especially since there's a ton of you in chat tonight. Let's see here. That one. Yeah, that one. And then that one. Yeah. There we go. Now, those of you may be watching or looking here on Twitch. Unstable. Is Twitch the unstable part here? Alright, so we have our sweetened cream cheese with kimchi in it. And we're going to spoon that into wontons. And then turn them into little sweet mini egg rolls. We need some oil heating up so that I can fry these. Or we can do them this way. Don't have to do them rectangular, you can do them angled like this too. You get essentially the same result. Although it's a little bit easier to wrap more in them when you're doing them this way. I keep adventuring with more and more filling with these.
cheese time. Comty. Did I turn heat on that oil? Or is that oil just chilling over there? That oil's just chilling over there. Let's get some heat on that oil. Anyone winning $1 billion today? I'm not a lotto player, but I noticed that it was some ridiculous number. everyone in chat jumps in the cars and goes and buys tickets. Can't tell if that's 2 or 1. I think that's just 1. Guess that's the last of our wonton filling. Alright, how's our oil looking here? How's our oil temp? 230. We need a little more temp there. Alright, let's clean up the cutting board here from that. Let's ditch the last of that. This we'll save for later. This we can throw back in with the other kimchi. individual pieces. Okay. Silicone piping bags, yay or nay? Depends on your thoughts on plastics. I am wholeheartedly a fan of disposable plastic pastry bags, but make sure you're getting the right size ones. They love selling you ones that are too small. I got ones that are too small. Silicone piping bags, I don't see a huge advantage to them over the old school bags. They're essentially the same thing. They're both spray painted with essentially silicone. Like the old cloth bags these days are sprayed with silicone. They're not wax or anything like that. And we're going to an ad break. See all you lovely folks in 3 minutes. I mean, these days, I call it parchment, but parchment these days is essentially silicone sprayed paper. It's not like it's, old school parchment. That goes for wax paper too. Wax paper is just sprayed with silicone these days. When we get everyone back from ads, we'll start in on frying. I'm going to fry all of them at once. The problem with the reusable bags is, regardless of, if you're worried about extremely worried about the environment, all of that, it's about your best option because it's reusable. You can wash it out, you can clean it out, but it's a pain in the butt to clean those bags out. They're such a pain to clean out. And so, if you can throw it out, if you're okay with throwing it out, just throw it out.
can make a parchment one really cheap too. I mean, that was one of the things they taught us at CIA. One of the things that everyone that goes to the CIA, at least when I was there, had to learn was you had to be able to make you had to be able to, sign like happy birthday or, someone's name on something with a basic parchment rolled up parchment into a piping bag. I can't remember the proper French term for it. There is one. I'm sort of, when it comes to plastic, of the opinion that it's just beyond... We're beyond being able to reduce it down. Like, our only solution at this point is properly processing it. Alright, we back from ads? Back from ads. Okay. Let's get our oil properly up to temp here. We're probably close. Yeah, we're not too far off. We lost about 10 degrees there. My plan is to try frying all of these off at once. I'm going to add another cup of water to this. We're going to need it with everything else that's going in there. It's looking a little thick already. So that'll just give it more time for that water to get to know everything else. Okay, we're 350-ish. Going in. All of them. Sorry I didn't change the cameras over. It's been a minute since I've been streaming. I gotta remember to do these things again. powdered sugar on those as they come out. And there we have our dessert for tonight. Remember to take a photo of it this time. And I guess I gotta try one of these while they're hot. This looks like one of the ones that it feels like one of the ones that we still got cheese in there. I know we lost one or two of these maybe into the oil. We'll give that a hefty dip too. Double dipping because it's my dinner. I want to try that again when it cools down a bit more. But that tastes pretty damn good. The confusing part is I'm not sure it's dessert. Like, I tried to lean into sweet while still keeping kimchi in there. And there's certainly plenty of sugar in there. I'm not saying that it isn't sweet. I just don't know that it's dessert sweet. Let me know what you think. Love to hear what all your thoughts are on this combo. I gotta be honest, the first bite I took, almost a little stuffed jalapeno popper vibes. Alright, so let's finish up our dinner now. Now that I got this stuck in my teeth. Not that it's a horrible thing to have stuck in my teeth, I like them. Which is surprising because I'm not, as I said earlier, I'm not the biggest kimchi fan. Not this first. Forgetting orders of operation here. Alright, now we're adding all of our beef into this lovely stew. Now we'll add our green onions. I guess I don't have any of those clean. I guess they gotta go for a big board. Did I use up the last of that? No way. I guess I don't have any gochujang. I guess I'll have to, Oh. Hi. GoPro getting too hot. We'll force it to quiet down. Waiting for it to cook that egg a little bit. Oops, I can't change scenes, I guess. How have you not cooked egg? That's alright, I'm just gonna keep eating egg rolls. Kimchi egg rolls with apricot, jalapeno, sweet dipping sauce. You know, it's almost like I had put, like, some other cheese in with those. Other than cream cheese. Like, they're incredibly cheesy. They're almost like I have cheddar cheese in them. That savoriness from the, I have a feeling those are all going to disappear before the cream cheese begins to solidify in any of them. So that's certainly part of it. Like, the cream cheese is most certainly, like, extremely soft, extremely creamy, extremely... It's almost sour cream texture in the inside of those right now. Why haven't you cooked, egg? You're sitting in liquid that's so hot that it's still steaming. And all you need is like 120 in order to just not be raw. There, we'll make it look like it's on purpose. And then since we don't have any gochujang or gochujang, we're going to go ahead with some sriracha. But this dish could have used some I couldn't find the gochujang, the flakes, the pepper flakes that are common in Korean cuisine, and I wasn't going to shop multiple places to find those. I thought I had gochujang at home, and apparently I didn't. So I'm subbing in sriracha tonight. And we're just going to take this egg and make sure it becomes part of this. And just give that a stir in there. And make sure that that's all part of that deliciousness along with all of that sriracha. I'm digging that. That's good. That's good. I was a little worried on that one. I was a little worried it was going to get too funky, but that's delicious. Delicious. But I do think this calls our first stream back in a while to a close. I will be back on my normal schedule here, hopefully, at least through the new year. I am not planning an ingredient challenge for next week because holidays. We seem to keep landing on ingredient challenge night here. So we're going to have another 2-week gap here for ingredient challenge. I don't know if that lands us end of this month or early next month, but there you are. So I'll have that vote up in not too long in the future in the Discord, but like I said, it's going to be a 2-week vote. So I will be back here on Friday. Going to be back here trying to offend everyone at once. I don't care if you like sandwiches. I don't care if you like waffles. I don't care if you like pizza. I don't care if you like Italian food. I don't care if you like sandwiches. I'm going to offend all of you. Oh, maybe it's 3 weeks then, so I don't know. Like, I would like to do some streaming, but ingredient challenge on New Year's Eve, I don't know about that either. We'll see. Maybe a minute before we do another ingredient challenge, but they're not disappearing. Anyways, greatly appreciate y'all coming back to hang out with me after being away for a while. Thank you for the resubs. Greatly appreciate those. And I hope you all have a great finish to your week. See you on Friday. Good night.